Welcome back, everyone. My name is Patrick. You're watching the Fanatic Rundown. Well, no two ways about it. That one was ugly tonight for the Edmonton Oilers. A 5 to nothing shutout loss to the LA Kings, who officially clinch home ice in their first round series. So for the first time, the Oilers will start with games 1 and 2 in Los Angeles, and the Edmonton Oilers, well, they're going to ice a very different team than they did tonight. No Connor McDavid, no Leon Draisaitl, no Zach Hyman, no Jake Wallman. Darnell Nurse gets ejected from tonight's hockey game. The list goes on for the Edmonton Oilers. They clearly were not icing their best possible lineup tonight. Philip Deneau, in an intermission interview, said the Oilers iced their B squad in an attempt to injure Kings players. Darnell Nurse did cross-check Quinton Byfield to the back of the head. Quinton Byfield had to leave the game. King said he was out with an upper body injury, and obviously we know it was the hit to the back of the head from Darnell Nurse. Aside from that play, though, there was a lot of things called between these two teams. It was an absolute parade to the penalty box tonight. The Oilers going 0 for 6, LA going 2 for 8, so neither team making a huge advantage out of their power plays, but the Oilers, obviously in a 5 to nothing loss, really needed to do something on the power play, and they could not shut down the Kings on their power play. But that was hardly the story of the night. The Kings were just the dominant team from start to finish. They were icing their best possible lineup, and the Edmonton Oilers, in Philip Deneau's words, icing their B squad. To say it was to hurt the LA Kings, I think, is a bit of a stretch. Yes, we called up Josh Brown, but that's also because we're down a whole bunch of defensemen, and he was actually supposed to be one of our NHL defensemen this year, but we won't get into that topic. He did not have a very good night, but very few Edmonton Oilers did have a good night tonight. It was the debut of Quinn Hutson. Didn't really notice him a lot, but I mean, this kid was playing in the Frozen Four NCAA championship on the weekend, so to go from that and come into an NHL game between two teams that are getting set to battle in the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs, it's a big jump. Quinn Hutson will get one more game here, see what he can do against the San Jose Sharks on Wednesday, and then it'll be up to training camp next year, whether he can make the team out of camp or if he heads to Bakersfield. We'll see what happens there. But I was definitely excited to have Quinn Hutson under contract now, and we'll see what the future brings for him with the Edmonton Oilers. Calvin Pickard got the start tonight. He was lit up for 5 goals, but he still had a fairly strong hockey game. Still made 31 saves for the Edmonton Oilers tonight. The LA Kings, just no two ways about it. They were absolutely the dominant team tonight, and they definitely should have been with the roster that the Edmonton Oilers were icing. They were short players as well. They came into this game going with an 11 forwards, 6 defenseman lineup, and then Darnell Nurse gets the ejection after his hit on Quinton Byfield. Well, not a hit. Cross-check to the back of the head of Quinton Byfield, and we'll see if there's any repercussions to that. Like I said, he got ejected, game misconduct. If there is any further suspensions, we'll see. The Oilers have one regular season game left. I imagine if there is a further suspension, it will be that final regular season game for Darnell Nurse. I think he will be back no matter what for Game 1 of the Stanley Cup playoffs. But we'll see what NHL player safety has to say tomorrow, and if there is even anything that they do say, maybe the game misconduct for Darnell Nurse tonight is where it ends. But it got really carried away here. Like I mentioned earlier, the penalty minutes just insane. 53 penalty minutes for the Edmonton Oilers tonight, 16 for the Kings. Just a mess of a hockey game tonight, and definitely not reminiscent of what we're going to see in round 1. I'm sure it will be a highly contested series between the Oilers and Kings, but I mean roster-wise, definitely the Oilers will be icing a far better lineup for Game 1, which is expected to be this Sunday in LA, but again, as I mentioned over the last couple of videos, nothing official on that just yet. But as for the scoring summary, Warren Foegele, because former Oilers always score against the Oilers, Quinton Byfield, Vladislav Gavrikov, Kevin Fiala, and Adrian Kempe. Adrian Kempe also always scores for the Kings against the Oilers. Those were your 5 goal scorers tonight. And yeah, the Kings just absolutely dominating the Edmonton Oilers tonight. Penalties, the story. A dominant performance, the story. The Oilers' lack of any real strong talent in the lineup. Losing Darnell Nurse, playing with a shortened lineup. These injuries have just hurt the Edmonton Oilers in every way possible, and we can only hope to have a much stronger lineup for Game 1 of the eventual 4th round rematch between the Edmonton Oilers and LA Kings beginning this weekend. So I think that's all I have to say on this one, guys. That's basically the story of this one, and we'll see at least a different team for the Edmonton Oilers come Game 1 against the LA Kings, unless more injuries happen along the way here. One more game for the Edmonton Oilers, and hopefully they can close out the regular season with a win over the San Jose Sharks on Wednesday. Let me know your thoughts on the game tonight in the comment section below. If this is your first visit to the channel and you like what you see, please consider liking and subscribing for all the latest Oilers content. You've been watching the Oilers Fanatic. Thanks for being a fan.